and hug it in. So take it to one side of your chest and then take it all around to the other side of your chest. Keep your tummy in, all around to one side of the chest and back to the other side. Hug it in, nice and tight. Take your feet to the floor, put them underneath your knees, a little bit closer to your bum if you can. Shrug your shoulders back into the mat, hands next to your sides, and just lift it up. Begin with your tailbone, lift it up all the way into a bridge. You don't have to go high, you just need to tuck in your ribs, tuck up your tailbone, and hold that. You can push into your shoulders a little bit. You can put the weight in your heels just to activate your quads. And put it down all the way, nice and slow, bit by bit. Keep your tummy tucked in until your tailbone touches the floor. And then deep breath in and lift it all the way up again. Roll it up until you reach your shoulders. Press into your shoulders. Keep your tailbone tucked up. Keep your ribs tucked in as much as you can. And just hold that. We're just going to lift up our right leg, nice and slow in a straight line, about knee height, so a diagonal line. And put it back, lift up in your bridge. I collapsed there a little bit. That shouldn't have happened. Oops. Saturday. And now do that with the left leg, diagonal. Push up once you're there. If you're like me, you dipped a little bit. And back on the floor into a bridge. Slowly put it back down. And take a nice deep breath in, press into your tailbone and lift it back up again. One more time. Into a bridge. Hold the bridge. Heel toe your feet to the side of the mat, feet looking forward. You can press up a little bit higher now. You've got a little bit more space. Tuck up your tailbone. Tuck in your ribs. And just hold it. And we're just going to pulse it up and down. Nice and slow. Don't let the tailbone go when you pulse it down, so don't just drop it. Keep it nice and controlled. Up and down. Let that tailbone in and the ribs tucked in. Nice and slow. Nice and controlled. Keep your tummy in. And put it down all the way to the mat until your tailbone touches the floor. Heel toe your feet back into the middle. Feet forward, knees forward. Lift up again into a bridge. The minion is starting to make noises. I've got one next to me. Yes.
Good.
Very organized, Louis. Did you not know that about me?
No.
Okay, again, we're going to lift up the right leg in a diagonal line. Hold it there. Use that other leg to push up. Put it down, back into a bridge. Make sure you're aligned, tucked in. Lift up the left leg in a diagonal line. Hold it. And put it back into your bridge. All the way down to the mat. And just hug in your knees. Minion's already making noises.
Oh, I hate bridge.
He hates bridge. And then again, just take it to one shoulder and roll it to the other side. And back again, one shoulder, roll it to the other side. Back with your feet on the floor. We've got one more bridge, which is you're going to feel that in your bum. So feet hip distance apart, knees forward, lift up into your bridge, find your bridge. Once you're up and you're pushing up with your ribs, you're making rib loops, drop them in so that you can straighten out. Then heel toe your feet towards each other. Go onto the side of your foot and let your knees fall open as much as you can and press up. Keep your ribs in so that your lower back doesn't feel this. And then just pulse it again. Up and down. Keep that tailbone tucked in. And you should feel that in your glutes. If you can, try and really engage them when you're pulsing up and down. That would be great. And all the way down to the mat, hugging your knees. So we're going to keep our knees there. We're going to roll up to our knees into a tight little ball. Hold on. Exhale, tuck in your tummy. And let go, hold it. Now we're going to move our knees into a block shape. We're going to keep lifted the way we are. And we're just going to bounce our arms in the hundreds. 100, 99, 98, 97. I'm joking. Just bounce. If your neck gets sore, hold on to it with one hand. You can bounce with the other one, or you can just stay there. As long as you're crunched up, that's fine. So you can do whatever you want. 97. Oh, the things I do to entertain myself. For those of you who want to, you can take one leg out diagonally.
It's now long. She's not, is she?
No, it's Nell's birthday. She's not on. You don't do stuff like this on your birthday. Switch sides.
What else is she going to do?
Eat cake. Oh, I love cake. I want cake. Take both out. If you want to, you can always hold it there. You don't have to take both out. And we're going to bring it in and out. In and out.
We've been out a few times today.
Huh? We've been out. This is our way of going out.
Yay!
Yay! You've been out 5 times. 6 times. I like Megan's jokes when he's tired. Hold on to your neck if you have to.
It's not my neck, that's the problem.
And hug it in. Rest it. Pull up your back, hug in your knees. That was fun. This is just a warm-up so that you're nice and warm for the flow.
Really?
Slide your legs down the mat. Okay, so earlier this week we did that move where we brought in the leg and kept it lifted. But today we're going to go with our arms, I've got the sofa, with our arms over our head stuck in your ribs, and we're going to lift opposite foot to opposite hand. Same kind of crisscross action. And you can go a little bit up like that, or you can really go up towards the foot. I'm jerking a little bit, so I think I should keep it low today. I don't know why I'm jerking today. And last one, take it back down, shake it out. Take your arms over your head. Take a nice deep breath in, arch your ribs. Then tuck it in, exhale, roll it up to a seated. Sit nice and high. Just open up your legs a little bit. Just dive in for that stretch. And roll it up all the way to the top. Shrug your shoulders back. Put your hands behind your head. We're going to drop left elbow to left knee, keeping straight with our body. So you're doing a little bit of waist work. So drop it down, pick it back up. Drop it down, pick it back up. Drop, pick it up. And other side, pick it up. Nice and straight. Someone's coming down with a gun. Fake down. Lift it up. And just lift it back up to the top. Bring your legs in. This is the last ab work we're going to do as the warm-up. We did this yesterday, I think, or the day before as well. If you have back issues, then I would suggest sitting back, keeping your feet on the floor. If that sitting back is not helping at all, if there's too much pressure on your back, do roll it down and just do normal crunching like this so that your back doesn't take all the pressure. There's sweat running down my nose, that's why I keep touching my nose. If anyone's wondering. Okay, so sit back, 45 degrees. You can keep your feet on the floor, let go of your arms, and then just lift up your legs. You can hold it there, you can lie down. Please just be careful of your back. If you're injured, put your hands behind your back. And we're going to kick up the legs. So one leg's going up, other leg. One, other one. And then we're going to add to that, we're going to crunch it in. Minions falling. We're going to crunch it in every time we bring it in. So we're going to kick, crunch, kick, crunch, kick, crunch, kick, crunch. And like that for a little bit. You can always put your feet down and hug it in. Put your feet down, round out your back, just stretch it out. So we're going to double kick now. You can do single kicks. Keep your feet on the floor or just lie down and do normal crunching. So please be careful of the back. I keep forgetting to say that if you are pregnant or injured, just be careful. So if you're pregnant or injured, please be careful.
I think that ship has sailed.
Yes, we're gone. I keep forgetting to put the advisories on. Okay, don't tell anyone. This is not public at all. Okay, are you ready? Have you rested enough? Lift up the legs, find your balance. Bring your arms forward first to see if you've got it. You can always keep your arms there. If this is too much for you, keep your arms next to your side. Otherwise, bring it behind and we're going to kick it up. Crunch it in. Kick it up. Crunch it in. Up. In. Up. In. Nice. And steady.
I'm back.
You can always put your arms there. It's a little bit easier if the arms is out. And stop. Cross your legs and just slide it forward. Stretch out your back. It took a little bit of a punch. And roll it back up to the top. Go onto your hands and knees. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Keep your tummy tucked in and just push into a cat stretch. Push it up. Reverse into cow. And back into cat. And cow. And cat. Take your hands forward a little bit. Tuck your toes under before we go into a downward facing dog. So make sure your arms is diagonal. We're going to hover the knees off the mat. Hold that hover. Push into a plank. And back to hover. So when you're ready, arms diagonal. So there's children fighting. Tuck the toes under, hover. Hold that hover, keep your tummy tucked in. Shoulders back and down. Push it into a plank. So now you're diagonally above your hands. Diagonally, no, straight. What's wrong with me? Push it back into a hover. Forwards into a plank. And into a hover. Last time, into a plank. Knees down, child's pose. Just push it back into a child's pose. You missed the hover.
Yay.
Turn your hands upside down. Keep stretching. Turn them back. And onto your hands and knees. Again, we're going to thread the needle, but this time tuck your feet in and push back. Then lift up your right arm into that twist. It's a little bit of an easier twist if the bum is down on the heels. And then thread the needle through, put that shoulder down. You can release your toes, put some pressure on that shoulder underneath. Find the stretch though. I find I have to roll forwards and back a little bit to find the right stretch. Once you have it, just hold it. There's an interesting little twist and balance we will add to this next week. Something to look forward to. And bring it up onto your hands and knees. Tuck your toes under again, sit back, lift up your left arm into that twist, keep your bum down. And then thread the needle through, release the toes. Sorry, find that stretch and just hold it. Back onto your hands and knees. Tuck your toes under, downward facing dog. Walk it out again like we usually do. Just get used to that stretch. Give your calves time to stretch out. Don't overstretch that. You can stretch your waist. You can stretch your shoulders. You can have a ball. Make sure the hands is wide, fingertips wide, and not all the pressure is in the palms. So press the hands down, put the pressure into the fingertips as well while you're walking it out. Shoulders locked out, tummy tucked in. And then you can go up onto your toes. Make sure your hands is in the right place and wide and strong. Shoulders locked out, tummy tucked in. Push your bum back. Drop your heels behind your toes. They don't have to go to the floor. Don't try. Just take them to their maximum stretch. Hold that. We're going to walk it out and walk it in to the front of the mat. Keep your legs slightly bent today. Don't straighten them out. We did some hamstring stretching during the week, but we're not going to force that one again. So slightly bend and just relax over your leg. Let the crown of your head go down over your legs, sorry. Relax your shoulders. Get a little bit of the weight towards your toes and not push into your heels too much. And enjoy that. But do keep that leg slightly bent. It doesn't have to be a lot bent, just a slight bend. Do not stretch too much. And then just lift it up into a tabletop. Back straight. We're going to swing our arms back into that tabletop. And then we're going to slide it forward, holding that tabletop, keeping the tummy in. Arms next to your ears. And slide it back. As you slide it back, just adjust the weight to the front of your feet. Slide it forward again. Keep that tabletop back. And slide it back. Exhale it back. Okay, keep the tummy tucked in, the back straight. Let's do this again. Slide it forward. That's a nice little core work for you. And slide it back. Hands into your hips, pivot all the way up to the top. Shrug your shoulders back. Take a nice deep breath in. Tuck your tailbone in. Tuck your tummy in. Bring your hands down next to your side. Put your hands on your hips to make sure that tailbone is tucked in. And then just dip into a back bend. So instead of just falling back, kind of lift up like you want to go over a big beach ball. Shrug your shoulders back. and back to the top. Stay where you are. I'm just going to turn around.
The sun is shining.
The sun is shining. Stay in, stay safe. Okay, shrug your shoulders back. Grab your hands at the back. Intertwine your fingers. Shrug the shoulders back as much as you can. And then once you've done that, just tuck your tailbone in again. Tuck your ribs in. Straighten out your arms. Push it back. Open up your chest. And we're going to rotate it over our heads. Keep the legs slightly bent. And just rotate the arm over as much as you can. I don't have a lot of give there, so I can only go up to there. Louis doing nothing.
This is my best.
Just wait, my hands are slippy. You stay.
Mine is as well.
Ah. And lift it back up to the top. Shrug your shoulders open and then let your arms fly up all the way to the top. Hands into your chest, lift up your chest and relax. We're going to use the goddess as our first flow. So we won't do goddess holds like yesterday, Louis, so you'll be glad to know that. He's crying, I think. Take your legs wide. I'm tempted to do frog just for Jan.
She on still.
Jan, are you on? If you're on, just say so, because if you are on, we might do frog just for you. Oh, you're not going to say anything, are you? Okay, take your legs wide, plie position. If you do go down into goddess, let your knees follow your feet. Lift up your arms, shrug your shoulders back. Come into that goddess, and then just move until you're comfortable. Stay nice and low in your goddess. And just bounce it, very controlled up and down. Keep your tailbone tucked in. So if you're looking from the side, you've got a tailbone tucked in position. You're not standing like this. You're nicely tucked in and straight. And depending on your flexibility in your hips, your legs, wherever they go, is fine as long as you've got that tucked in position. So now we're going to tuck forward, put your hands on the mat, and then slide towards one side, lifting up the opposite foot. A little bit of a hamstring stretch. This foot doesn't have to go down. And depending on how your flexibility is, it doesn't really matter that much. Then you're going to take that straight arm, side arm over. I don't know how else to explain that. For that stretch. And bring it back to the middle. Turn your back foot in and turn towards the front leg. Just move that front leg to the side of the mat it's on. Bend that front knee in and you're in a high lunge position, pushing that back heel back with that leg very straight. Lift up into high lunge. Tuck your tailbone in, bend your front knee. Hold that position. We're going to put our arms together. Go left elbow over right knee and twist. Bring it back to the top. Hands down to the mat. Step it back to downward dog. Tuck your tummy in and just press your heels down. Forwards into a plank. Hold that plank nice and strong. And we're going to go all the way down to the mat. So if you push your chest over your hands, it's easier to go down. Keep your shoulders strong. Go down all the way to the mat. Put your feet down. Keep your arms next to your side and press up into your cobra. Tuck your toes under. Downward facing dog. Stretch it out. Louis, you can take your time coming out. I know this is difficult for you. And walk it in. Walk or jump. If you want to jump it in, I've never done this on these classes. If you bend your legs a little bit and you lift up your tailbone, then you can jump it in to the front of the mat with your legs slightly bent. Then go into that forward bend, slight bend knees, nice little stretch. Lift up into a tabletop, hands on your knees. We're going to take our arms back again in that straight line. We're going to swish it forward, arms next to your ears, and swish it back to the back. This is nice, isn't it? Swish it forward again, and swish it back. Hands into your hips, lift it up, pivot it up all the way to the top. Shrug your shoulders back, drop your arms, go into that back bend, just a little bit. Hands into your chest, and then open up into that goddess again. Remember to go to the other side now. Are we on the same side now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm hiding, minion. Okay, tuck the tailbone in, dip into, with your bum out. Turn into that goddess. Hold that goddess, you can bounce it a little bit. You can side slide, just to get comfortable in that goddess. Woo! Hold that goddess. Keep the tummy tucked in, the tailbone tucked in. You can go a little bit deeper. You can bounce it deeper. Anything to keep you busy. Shrug the shoulders back. And then we're going to dip it forward. Hands to the mat. Slide to the other side. Lift up the opposite foot. You can press your knee out with this arm and go into that surface lunge stretch. Bring your arms down, then turn towards this side of the mat, back foot lifted. Just move this front foot to the side that it's on, and we're going to lift up, back leg straight, into a high lunge. Tuck this bum in at the back, bend the front knee in, hands together, right elbow, I keep looking away, over left knee, and twist. Lift it back up to the top. Oh, I forgot what we did. What did we do? No? Can't remember. All the way down to the mat, step it back to downward dog. Can't remember. Short-term memory, Dory. I'm Dory of Nemo. Forwards to plank. Push away. And we're going all the way down again into a cobra. Tuck your toes under, downward facing dog. And again, if you want to jump it in or walk it in, it's up to you, to the front of the mat. If you want to jump, bend the knees, lift up your bottom, and then use your core to lift you over. Jump it into the front of the mat, forward bend. Keep the legs slightly bent. I don't want to see straight legs. I want to see slightly, I can't see you. You know what I mean. Slightly bent legs. Torso over your legs, ground to the floor. And then again, lift up into a tabletop. Now you can straighten out your legs. You can also have them slightly bent. Arms to the front again. And push it back. Tabletop, tummy in. All the way to the front. And push it back. Hands into your hips. Pivot all the way up to the top. Shrug your shoulders back. Take a nice deep breath in. Shrug your shoulders back and down. And sit into a chair pose. Bum back, arms next to your ears. Tailbone slightly tucked in so that you don't arch and fall down like this. So keep it so that you have control over your torso. If you struggle, put your hands in your hips if you feel your arm is dropping. because that might be shortened lats. And to take that out of the equation, just put your hands into your hips. Hold that chair pose. Put your hands together, left elbow over right knee, and twist. Back into chair. Again, check your position. Hands together. Other side. And twist. Back to chair. From chair, we're going to sweep the floor and stay down. Straighten out the legs a little bit, not a lot of it. We're going to leave the right foot. Step back on the left foot. And put the left foot on the mat, more or less 45 degrees, so that you can go into a warrior one. Keep that back foot strong. Back leg strong, the whole foot on the mat. Hips looking forward. Tailbone tucked in. Bend that front knee in. We're going to dip forward diagonally. We're going to sweep the floor. Take our arms all the way back in a straight back. Hold that position. Front knee bend. Take our arms forward next to our ears. Hold position with your torso. And then lift it up all the way to the top. One more time. Dip it forward diagonally. Sweep the floor. Keep that back straight. Arms all the way back. Take it all the way back to the front. Straight line. Hold the tummy and lift it up. All the way to the top. Hands down. Step it back to downward dog. Keep the tummy in. Forwards to a plank. All the way down. So again, dip your chest forward. Straight line down. All the way into a cobra. Don't go too high. It's not worth it. You can keep it low. Tuck your toes under. Downward facing dog. Tummy tucked in. Again, if you want to, you can jump it into the front of the mat. Keep the legs bent. Jump it all the way into bent legs at the front of the mat. Straighten out a little bit. We're going to skip the arms with this one. We're just going to roll it up all the way to the top. Tuck your tailbone in. Shrug your shoulders back. Take a nice deep breath in. Hands to your chest. Lift it all the way up again. Hands down, forward bend. Keep the legs slightly bent. Step back on your right leg into a high lunge. Lift up into a high lunge. Is it high lunge first? Yes. Can't remember.
Drop the foot, you said.
Drop the foot back. Yes, sorry. Into warrior one. I can't believe I'm so forgetful. So this back foot of mine, I've got plantar fasciitis, so I am in extreme pain as we are standing there at this moment. So I might not be able to do this. Okay, we're going to dip it forward, arms next to our ears, keep it there. Bend that front leg in. Sweep the floor, keep that back straight. Take the arms all the way back in a straight line. Now bring the arms back next to your ears first. And then lift it up. All the way back to warrior one. Mother, swear word. And dip it back down again. Sweep the floor. Keep your torso straight. Take your arms back, hold position, keep the tummy in. Lift it back, arms next to your ears. Lift it back up to the top. Woo! Hands to the mat. Step it back to downward dog. Ow. Knees to the floor. Child's pose. Put your bum down and stretch it out. Also on your legs. You can walk your hands forward a little bit. Stretch out your lats if you want. And then go back onto your hands and knees. We've got one more plank sequence, which is not as tough as we've been doing. So you can follow me with that. It's just a little bit of alternation with the legs. You can just hold plank. If you find this difficult, remember to tuck the tailbone in and keep that bum activated, and you'll be fine. So hands underneath your shoulders, push back into a plank, find your plank, make sure you're pushing your heels back, and all we're going to do is lift up the right leg, take it down, lift up the left leg, take it down, right, take it down, left. So just alternate that, keep your plank position. This is also a little bit of a bum squeeze, so do use those glutes and squeeze it in. And back. Knees down, child's pose. What was that?
Yeah, good, fun.
And then we're going to do exactly the same, but in a low plank. So come up onto your hands and knees.
Give us some warning, Lily.
Sorry. Put your elbows down, tuck your toes under, go into that low plank. And we're doing exactly the same. Alternating the legs up. Use the glutes to lift it. Try and hold that plank position.
And child's pose.
Knees down. Minion spoke. Child's pose. You can put your head down, take your arms back, and just relax. Like you're almost hugging yourself after that. And enjoy. Sorry about that. Minion has spoken. Then you can come up and you can swap yourself around. Swap yourself around. I need to work on my vocabulary. Oh, I'm tired. Who else is tired? Oh, okay. Let's stretch it out, people. Right, keep your feet where it is. Drop your legs to the left. Keep your shoulders down. Don't lift it up. Keep it down. And just hold that position. Take it all the way over to the other side. Keep the shoulder down. Don't lift it up. Look in the opposite direction. Just enjoy that stretch. And bring it back to the middle. Slide your right leg down, left leg down the mat. Doesn't really matter. I'm just doing this one so you can see first what we're going to do. Hug in the right leg nice and close to your chest. We're going to straighten that leg out to the ceiling. It doesn't have to be straight. Just give it a stretch, not a big stretch, just a little stretch. And then bend that knee in, keep the foot lifted. So this knee is coming towards your chest or armpit, not wide. So bring it in. You can grab the inside of your sole or just your shins and push that leg down towards your chest. You can even hold that knee close with the other hand if you're not sure if it's going to go out, and just stretch it out like that. Happy, half happy baby. Push that leg down. Some people would not have this flexibility in their hips, so don't force this. Just take it to where it goes. And then just grab that knee in again. Hug it in. Take that same foot to the opposite thigh and cross it over towards the left if you're in my direction, otherwise just towards the other side. Keep the other hand and shoulder down on the mat. And don't press this leg down all the way. That's too much flexibility. So you are like imagining you've got something like a roll underneath you, like this, and that's more or less where it goes. So don't go any further than where a big foam roll would be. So don't worry too much about that side. Just get that twist into the back, and also this does stretch a little bit of your external hip rotators. So rather think of the functionality of that stretch up and not take it too far. Bring it back in to the middle, hold in that knee. Bring the opposite foot in a V. Cross the same leg that we've been stretching over and push this knee back 90 degrees. Push it back as far as you can and just hold that push. Just hold it, keep the tummy in, keep the tailbone in. When we do lift up the legs, please make sure that the ribs and tailbone stays in a straight line so that you don't lift up your lower back when you do this. The flatter the back is, the more effective the stretch is. So you bring in the opposite leg, you can grab it underneath the hamstring or over the shin, but make sure that your lower back isn't lifting up. So keep it flat on the floor, and you should feel this stretching in the opposite bum quite a bit. Again, I always say this is the stretch you can really feel and push into, but you don't have to. You can just feel it as a light little stretch, and that's fine. You can roll from side to side if you want to make sure that your back stays down. And let go. Slide the leg that you've just used down the mat. Hug in the left leg or the other leg. Straighten that leg out to the ceiling. Again, don't go crazy. If some of you feel your hip when you do that, just don't worry too much. You can just move around and then take it up again, see if it's better. Again, don't stretch it too much. Just a light stretch is enough. Hug that knee in. And then from that hugged knee position, where it is going to your chest or your shoulder, lift your foot up. And it's kind of a block shape. You can either grab the inside of your sole or your shin and just push that leg down. If you're on the inside of the sole, just make sure that knee doesn't go out. Keep it next to your side and push it down as far as you can. Let go of that leg, put that foot on the opposite thigh. Keep the shoulder down, take it over to the other side. Again, don't take it too far. It's not worth it. Just enjoy the stretch that you're feeling in your back and in your hip low down. Keep the tummy in so that that protects the spine a little bit. I've got to get what the other is. Rotate it back to the middle, hug in that knee, bring the opposite leg in, cross this leg over, and push that knee back 90 degrees. Hold it there. Try and make sure that knee stays out if you've got that flexibility. Then bring the opposite leg in, grab it either over the shin or underneath the hamstring, keep the back down, and just hug that leg in as far as you can. You can roll it from side to side. Are you okay, Minion?
Yeah.
Are you feeling better now?
A little.
Minion is strained. You should be strained in this position.
7 days a week of yoga Pilates. It takes a strain.
And take that down. Take both feet to the floor. Just make sure your tailbone is tucked in, the ribs are tucked in. You're going to lift up into an easy bridge. That's just to get a curve into the spine. So not to hold or anything. Lift up into an easy breeze. You don't even have to go high. You can keep it low and then put it back down on the mat again, bit by bit, until your tailbone touches the floor. And when you lift it up again, try and remove it like a snake, bit by bit, until you reach your shoulders, and then put it back down, bit by bit. Hug in your knees, and roll it up to a seated. Cross your legs. Sit nice and high on your seat bones. Shrug your shoulders back. Take one leg, opposite hand over opposite knee, and just go into that twist. Don't force yourself into that twist. You don't have to. You can just naturally go for that twist. Keep the shoulders straight. Keep the tailbone tucked in. Don't lean back into your tailbone. Keep it nice and high, like you're lifted a little bit off your spine. And all the way over to the other side. Nice and high. Keep the tummy in. And back to the middle. Just put your hands next to your side and lift your bum up so that your spine is kind of hovering into the air. Put it back down. Take a nice deep breath in. Shrug the shoulders back and down. Lift your chest up to reach your hands. And you are done for today. See you tomorrow, 9, for an easy flow, not as powerful as today. A nice stretchy flow. See you tomorrow. Have a lovely Saturday.
Bye.
Bye.